Welcome to the MLB Closing Time Show, Thursday, July 1st, and a happy Canada Day to all my peeps right here in these parts north of the border. 154 years old, this great country of ours, Canada, on this day. So it's been around a long time, since 1867, and now here we are 154 years later. Canada still going strong. Happy Canada Day to everybody north of the border.
Can you give us some bars of the national anthem real quick? Can you give us a line or two? Yeah.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. There we go. Right. You know, I've still got my morning voice, so I don't have full gusto, but there you go.
I think we should start the show like that every time now, like that.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that there would be, get a little Ian musical interlude at the beginning of every show. But we'll have to monitor to see if that viewer count goes up or down after that. So that's going to tell you how long it's going to last, that segment. But nevertheless, welcome in, everybody. Let's get to it. We've got a Thursday MLB card. We've got a couple of games that are starting right now that have just started. So we'll hit them both at the same time here. Seattle, Toronto. The Blue Jays always play a home Canada Day game in the afternoon. Of course, this year it's in Buffalo, but it's still a quote-unquote home game, so that's why they're playing it now, and it's just gotten underway. I didn't have a bet on it anyway. Ryu, again, it's a good Oriental lefty battle in that one. Ryu against Kikuchi for Seattle, so interesting to see how that fares. It looks like Seattle's threatening early in the first inning, so keep an eye on that against Ryu, but I didn't have a bet on this game, really. I leaned a little bit to the over, and of course, 2 men on, nobody out. It's making me I might regret not betting that, but that was my lean, just because you have 2 tired bullpens and two lineups that are actually feeling it right now, but didn't bet that. Kansas City, Boston, I did bet the over in this game. Eovaldi got roughed up in his last start against Kansas City. I remember it well because I backed Boston in that game, and he just didn't have it against them. So I'm a little bit shaky about what to expect from him here. I'll be honest, I'm disappointed in Chris Bubich. He's not exactly pitched as well as I thought he would, and Boston's crushing left-handed pitching for the better part of the last 10 or 15 games. So I think we'll see runs at Fenway, and I did lean a little bit to the over in the Toronto game, but I stayed off that one. Did you have any opinions, Jose, on these first 2 early games?
Yeah, well, if you watch Jimmy the Bag show right before this, you'll know that everyone knows I'm a fan of the Japanese, Asian lefties, or players in general. I shouldn't say lefties, but I love Kikuchi. I love Ryu. I don't have anything on this game. This whole game will be pure enjoyment for me as well. Good live betting spots, though, as always, on the show. So we'll keep an eye on it. Maybe we'll live bet an over in Boston and in the Kansas City, because I expect that game to go over as well. So we're on the lockstep right there.
All right, we are on the same page there. Let's go to the next game up on the schedule today. We've got the Minnesota Twins taking on the Chicago White Sox. We have Berrios and Rodon, your starting pitchers here. The White Sox around -140, home favorites, total 8.5 here across the board. White Sox starting to get their act together again. It was a really rough stretch for Chicago. For the better part of a week to 10 days, pretty much. They had really gone through a funk, 2-7 in a 9-game stretch, but they've won back-to-back now. They're starting to get the lineup starting to hit again, which we knew eventually they would start to have that offense reignited. It's too good of a lineup, I think, to be held down forever. Rodon's been terrific, 2.06 ERA. I didn't bet this one. It's a pass. It's just I like the White Sox in terms of their form. They're starting to get things turned around again. Right now, this team. So I think that could continue here going into today. I lean to the White Sox, but I like Berrios a lot. You know that I've looked to back him a few times. 3.41 ERA, 7-2 record overall. Could you get away with maybe a first 5 under in this game? Potentially. 2 pitchers that are more than capable. So I would lean White Sox. I would lean first 5 under, but Now with the games that I'm just feeling, on the fence about, like this one with White Sox in the first 5 under, I lean in that direction. I'm pulling back the reins a lot more now than I would say in April and May. I'm trying to tighten the belt, go with, a little bit lower volume in baseball on a daily basis. And that's basically the way I'm approaching it here. So lean White Sox, lean first 5 under, but just leans for me. Jose, what do you think here? Minnesota, Chicago.
I talked about this on the show as well, and this is I'm putting on my tinfoil hat, Ian. I'm putting on my tinfoil hat. I've got a little bit of a conspiracy. I thought yesterday's run totals were insane. Insane. They were. I don't have stats
Over
back this
Palooza
up.
last night. Holy mackerel!
Exactly. I said that June 3rd was the day that we should mark down overs from here on out. Now I think there's another day. We should mark down yesterday because I honestly think that baseball might have messed with the balls again. And that's how much the balls were flying out again. I wouldn't be surprised if we see in like a week or two or something like that, all these numbers start up and up and up, and we start questioning, did Major League Baseball bring back the juice ball again? Are we doing this again? So I honestly think that we've got a juice ball again. And I think that there's going to be a lot of overs. I think this could be a sneaky over. Both these pitchers, have been pitching well. Jose Barrios is a good pitcher. Rodon struggles of late, but we saw him do well. I think this could be a sneaky over here.
Yeah, I mean, to keep an eye on this, it's good. It doesn't mean you blindly bet over every single game, but what you want to do is you want to keep an eye on all of this and make sure that you are seeing a situation here where you're seeing some unders at least, and you're not seeing it completely across the board. And keep an eye on the way the ball's flying in these ballparks. You're right. Let's see if they're jumping a little. Seattle's already up 2-0 on Toronto in the very first inning right now. So that tells you, so keep an eye on this. I mean, we had a lot of runs last night, a lot of offense in those games last night. Incredible. I mean, I think, and the one game that I think one of the stronger overs that I liked last night was the one that stayed under, which was Baltimore and Houston. We'll get to Houston in a bit. All of a sudden, their lineup, which couldn't be stopped for like almost a month, is all of a sudden struggling a little bit this week. But we'll get to them in just a second. Next up, we've got Texas and Oakland. Dane Dunning for Texas, Sean Manaea for Oakland. Oakland minus 165, home favorites, 8 the total. Small bet for me here, Oakland, first 5 innings, minus a half a run. I like the way Manea's trajectory has been, 2.91 ERA. He's pitched really good for the better part of the last month. Dane Dunning, not so much, 4.63 ERA on the road. It's been absolutely a nightmare for him this season. He's been good at times, Dunning, actually, but on the road, it hasn't been that way. This is now an Oakland team that's seen him a bunch, so I can't imagine there's much in the cupboard for Dane Dunning that this Athletics lineup hasn't seen by now. So I think the Oakland Athletics can scratch out a lead after the first 5 innings here. So I'll go Oakland minus a half a run here in the first 5 innings of this one. Jose, what do you think here, Texas, Oakland?
I always, I don't know, this is a me thing. I get Garrett Crochet and Dane Dunning always confused in my head. When I think Dane Dunning, I always think of the reliever for the White Sox. And I know that he was the guy in the Lance Lynn trade, so that definitely was it. This is ultimately probably a stay-off game for me. These Texas Rangers, Oakland A's games are weird, super weird every time. I like your first 5 look, but I took a couple first 5s, and I just picked the wrong side of it and got killed because I was on the Cubs first 5 with Matt Randall. We were up 7-0. We get smacked around there. I was on the Rays first 5. We were up, and then we get smacked around there. And then I was on the Angels first 5 too. We were up 2-0, so it wasn't as bad. But man. So I think I'll lean first 5 over here as well. I mean, I think it's weird, man. It's just weird, these balls. First 5 over 4.5 for me would be the play in this game.
All right, first 5 over 4.5. It sounds like it's an over Palooza on Jose's betting ticket today in Major League Baseball for sure. Next up, we've got Miami and Philadelphia. This was another game that was very high scoring last night between 2 lineups you don't always get that from. We got Pablo Lopez and Zach Eflin on the mound in this one. The Phillies minus 130. Home favorites. This one's 7.5 the total. We've got Pablo Lopez in his 2.87 ERA. He's been impressive. You look at Lopez, the last Wow, you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 starts. Last 8 starts, he's given up 2 runs or less in 7 of those 8 starts. He's been just remarkably consistent. And I'll say this, even on the road, he started to improve a little bit. Did all right against the Jays, did all right against the Dodgers. Last start in Wrigley against the Cubs, he shut him out in 7 innings. So early in the season, Pablo Lopez was not exactly pitching great on the road. He started to pitch better on the road lately for this Miami Marlins team. So definitely like the way he's pitching. There's no question about that. Zach Eflin for the Phillies, he's coming off a pretty good outing. 1 run allowed against the Mets on the road. It was a bounce back after he got pummeled by San Fran a couple of starts ago. Gave up 7 runs in just 5 innings in that start. So we'll see how he fares here. So only 2-6 on the season here for this Phillies team. On overall, the Phillies, of course, losing last night to the Marlins. I actually do lean a little to Lopez and the Marlins here in this game. Probably a first 5 and full game split. You'll be able to get a pretty decent price here, slight underdog price at around plus 110 here. That's the way I would go here. Miami first 5 full game split. Hopefully better results than 2 nights ago. I took Miami and Rogers against Velasquez, and they lost that game 4-3. But I think Miami is the way I would go here. What do you think, Jose? Miami, Philadelphia.
This is my second play of the day. My first one was originally Yankees, but unfortunately that game gets rained out. I'm on the over here as well. I love Pablo Lopez. Pablo Lopez has been one of my favorite pitchers to watch this year. Actually, I told them this too, Ian. Me and Pablo are close personal friends now, and by that we DM on Instagram every once in a while. So we're like this, is what I say. What I'm saying. But I think he gets touched up a little bit today. He's a different pitcher on the road. He has a 4 ERA on the road. Zach Eflin, I'm not a Zach Eflin guy. I know that he's been good on the at home. I think Andrew, I can't say your last name. Every home start for Eflin has been 2 earned runs or less. I think that he can get touched up here today. And even if he does not get touched up today, let's say he goes 6 1-earned run, we still have one of the worst bullpens in baseball, the Phillies. So I'll take the over here. I like this is my play of the day. Maybe we'll see it again later on, but over 7.5 at minus 115 here for me.
All right, the name of the day, over for Jose Bouquett today. Liking a lot of overs. Conor is fine, by the way. I just want to point that out. It was just at the doctor's appointment, and it's running late. That's all. He's fine. He's good. He's actually going to try to make it at the end of the show, but I told him, if you can make it, fine. If not, don't worry about it. We'll see you tomorrow. So Conor will be back. Conor will be with us for the NBA show later today for sure, the Pub Hub at 4 p.m. Eastern time for Bucks-Hawks Game 5. We'll be breaking it down on that show later today. All right, next up on the slate here on this Thursday, it is the Milwaukee Brewers and the Pittsburgh Pirates. It is a pitching mismatch here on paper. Corbin Burnes for Milwaukee and Will Crow for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Milwaukee minus 250, road favorites, 8 the total in this game. That's a complete and utter pass for me. I mean, Milwaukee, believe it or not, their bats. Chicago Cubs found out the hard way that the bats for Milwaukee are smoking at the moment. They've actually hit the ball a little bit better as of late. So good news for Milwaukee's lineup. That was always the issue we had with them earlier this season. They just were not hitting. They're hitting a lot better now, and chances are they might be able to hit this guy, Will Crow, for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I've not been a big fan of him, although I will say he is coming off a much better start in his last outing for the Pittsburgh Pirates, but it was against a St. Louis Cardinal lineup that hasn't always been necessarily good in terms of their current form. So you have to keep take that start with a grain of salt, if you will, for the way Will Crow pitched in that game. We'll see what he's got in the arsenal here against this Milwaukee team, but unbelievable that the Cubs were up 7-0 in that game yesterday, and the Brewers just take over from that point on. Very impressive stuff from the Brewers. We'll see if they can carry that over here into tonight. There are a couple guys that have got some, I guess, okay numbers, believe it or not, against Corbin Burnes. Brian Reynolds, who's actually feeling it right now, 4 for 8, 500 against Burnes. Adam Frazier over 300 average. Jacob Stallings 300 average. So, a couple guys in the Pittsburgh lineup have hit Burnes in the past. So we'll see if that carries over here. But I'm just going to stay off. Obviously, Pittsburgh. I don't want Pittsburgh right now. They got swept by the Colorado Rockies. A terrible series for them in Colorado. But hey, Colorado's good at home, so you can't criticize them too much. But obviously, Milwaukee's got they're the better team. They got the better starter, but it's priced like it. So it's a pass for me. Jose, what do you think here? Milwaukee, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'm off of it. I think it was pretty interesting though that Corbin Burns most likely was a spider attack user. I mean, spin rates are obviously down, and he was throwing 3,000 RPM cutters, which is not done often. 3,000 plus RPM pitches are crazy. So it's going to be interesting to watch him. It hasn't affected him too bad, but he hasn't been untouchable, like literally untouchable, like he was earlier in the year. So we'll see what happens. I'm off this game as well, Ian, but I would like to say, Ian, I am a little bit crazy when it comes to Red Sox games, and I don't do shows often when I'm watching the Red Sox. So it'll be interesting to see if I can keep my shit together is what I'm basically going to say.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing because they just went deep. They just went yard. First batter off Bubich went yard.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ian, for the spoilers. Kike Hernandez, he's the greatest leadoff hitter in baseball. I mean, what do you say? He's hit 3 home runs from the leadoff spot the last 5 days. So whatever, it's not a big deal. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm working on improving my television setup here, which is directly in front of me here, and I've only got 2 sets right now. But hey, we've only got 2 games right now, so I've got the Blue Jays on one, and I've got the Red Sox on the other. So we got 2-0 Mariners, 1-0 Red Sox right now in these 2 games. So good news for that over. We needed to get a run here in this first inning, give us a good shot at it here. Simeon just went deep for the Blue Jays, 2-1. So there we go. Look at these balls, man.
Man, your GVs are just so much faster than mine. It's so funny. I'll look over and I'm just watching Simeon digging in.
Wow. That ball just rocketed out of the yard off the bat of Marcus Simeon. Wow.
I'm telling you, he should be the second base starter.
Yeah, there's something to this maybe with these runs starting to pick up again. We're gonna need to start seeing maybe 12.5 totals outside of Coors Field pretty soon if this keeps up.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. They really did something to these baseballs. It's crazy that 20 runs, 15 runs, 7 runs, and oh god, it's so crazy. It's ridiculous. And by the way, Ian, I love these Blue Jays red uniforms. I love the Canada Day uniforms.
Yes, they are. They're fantastic. They always rock the red, if you will, on Canada Day for their home game. And the thing is, not only do the Jays play a Canada Day game at home every year, it's always a day game. It's always a day game. It's always been an afternoon game. So good stuff there. Yeah, they look great. Bring out the red. I know that the red's not their color. It's blue, but do it for Canada Day. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's fantastic for sure. But keep an eye on Jose's theory. I mean, look at these 2 games that have already started. We've seen 2 home runs already, 3 runs in one game. We got a run on the board in the other and a home run. So keep an eye on this. This is we saw just an absolute shit ton of runs last night in those games. So definitely something to keep an eye on in here. That that this it's it's every league's doing this. NFL with the pass interference. You go on down the list. With the defensive holding, it gets called more. I mean, every league wants more points, more offense, and they will tweak the rules, bend the rules to ensure that there's more offense, more points, more touchdowns, more baskets, more goals in hockey, more home runs in baseball, whatever the sport. They are tailoring these leagues for more offense to try to engage the fans and keep them watching because fans want offense. They want things to happen. They want action. They don't want nothing to happen. That's what
I couldn't agree with more.
Yep, that's exactly more. Yep, and money because they know that be more people watching and excited in the product means more money, and that's
Ian, I was growing up and I was told that chicks dig the long ball. So,
yeah, that's the old saying. For certain people, that's the case. Yeah. All right. Next up, we've got as we continue on here, L.A. Dodgers, Washington Nationals. Dodgers minus 135 road favorites here, minus 140 in some spots, 9.5 the total in this game. I'm telling you what, keep an eye on this Washington Nationals team. They're starting to heat up. They've won 4 in a row. Now you can argue Miami, Mets, although beating Tampa Bay 2 in a row is pretty damn good. But I like what I'm seeing here from this Nationals team. And Corbin on the mound for the Nats. Look, what's the one problem the Dodgers sometimes have? They don't hit lefties, not always consistently anyway. So, again, Corbin's been a bit of a mystery at times this season for the Nationals. But, again, the Dodgers have had some issues against lefty pitching this season. And for the Dodgers, you're going to have Tony Gonsolin pitching for them. He's a guy that's, basically spot starter right here. He's just a bullpen guy. You're going to see a lot of relievers today for this Dodgers team. So I think this is a spot to look Washington here, a home underdog. Plus, you've got the Dodgers traveling east, starting this road trip, coming off a big, important series sweep over San Francisco in their own division. I could see Washington rising up here and maybe getting the job done here against this Dodgers team today. So I like Washington here. First 5 full game split, would lean to the over a little bit here at 9. Because I do think the Nationals bats are red hot, can do some damage here. And how on earth do you not go back to the well with Kyle Schwarber to hit a home run? We've talked about this now incessantly for weeks on this show, the Closing Time show. You just got to bet it each game with the kind of run he is putting together at the plate at the moment. What do you think here, Jose, Dodgers Nationals?
I audibly call Kyle Schwarber a fucking sicko every time he hits a home run. It is ridiculous. Please, everyone should bet his home run prop like every day for the next couple of days at least, because it's crazy. Even I think there's enough value at him because they're always around plus 300. If you don't hit one for 2 days straight and he hits one the third day, you make your money back and probably then some. It's so nice. I love Kyle Schwarber. Shout out to him. But I think you're onto something, Ian. And I'll tell you what, we could talk all these numbers, we could do all this stuff, we could say all these over-unders and all that, but there's some intangibles about baseball that make it way different than the other sports, which is maybe why I like it more. I forgot how the guy's name that I'm thinking about. I think is it Gerardo Parra? I'm not sure, but the Nationals brought back the Baby Shark guy from their World Series run. They brought him back, and now everyone's in the stands when he comes up, does the walk-up song. And all the old people in the stands, all you see is this. Those old people just clapping away, doing their little Baby Shark motion. And the Nationals, it worked for them one time. Why not again? The Nationals have been rolling. I think I like that, Ian. I think Tony Gonsolin's a good pitcher, but he's been inconsistent. He's a weird guy too, by the way, super weird. So I like your Nationals look. You got to hope that you get a good Pat Corbin today, and I think he will. I mean, he's a good pitcher. He just has not had the best year, ups and downs. But I think I like your Nationals look there.
And usually I'm on top of this when it comes to weather for each game we break down. I missed this with the Philly game and this game. Rain in the forecast tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So beware of that.
There's rain everywhere.
Start right away. Yeah. May not see these games start right away. May even see them postponed outright, because you're looking at in Washington 60%, 70% right into the night with rain. So this may not get played here, this Dodgers Nationals game. And you can say the same thing about the Marlins and the Phillies as well at Citizens Bank Park. So definitely keep an eye on the weather in both games. Next up, we've got Houston Astros, Cleveland Indians, Framber Valdez, Giancarlo Mejia, your pitching matchup here. Houston, big road favorites here in the minus 180 range, 8.5 the total in this game. I like this over. I don't know if this was appealed to you, Jose, but I like the over here. I don't like Giancarlo Mejia a whole lot. I don't think there's anything spectacular about his stuff. 4.94 ERA. Framber Valdez has been very good, 2.11 ERA, but the Cleveland lineup is starting to rake a little bit. And I think that can continue here. And even if Valdez goes, 5-6 innings, which has been the average for him, and he neutralizes Cleveland, this is not a good Houston bullpen right now, not even in the least. So there's a chance for some runs late in the game if Cleveland doesn't get all of their runs early in the game. So, and Houston will do what they do against Giancarlo Mejia in my mind. No, look, they didn't hit for some reason against Baltimore the last few games, but I think that's too good of a lineup to go into this 1 week, 10-day type of funk. I do think the Astros will bounce back. And look, they got a pitcher they should bounce back against here in Mejia, who's definitely been roughed up since he's joined this rotation. So I'm going to go with over 8.5 here. Smaller bet too on the team total with Houston because look, we finally seen a reduction in the team total. They've been 5.5, the Astros team totals for several games in a row now. Today only 4.5. So a little bit of a discount. I'm going to hop on that discount double check here. Hopefully it becomes Houston from Rake Farm tonight, the Houston Astros, and we'll end up getting that over 4.5. That's what they're calling Cronenworth in San Diego, Jake from Rake Farm.
I remember you telling us about that. Yes, I love that.
That's pretty good. Yeah, exactly. So I like Houston team total over 4.5 and full game over. What do you think, Jose?
So I think this is actually one of my two unders, Ian, which is actually pretty funny. I think that Houston could dominate. They can get their offense in order, and it could be, let's say, like 5-0, 6-0. But I think Framber Valdez is good enough to hold down these Indians. I do think I should say you're right about the 6 innings. He probably will go like 5-6 innings around there. He may probably give you that shutout ball, but the Astros bullpen is horrible. It is truly bad. Ryan Presley is it. They've got him and they've got Christian Javier. Those are the 2 relievers they have that are pretty solid. And after that, it's tough. Astros fans, when I was at the games, that's basically all that they were talking about. They were just like, yeah, our bullpen sucks. We're so bad. We need our starters to start all this whole game. So I think you could get that backdoor over cover right there. This was one of the unders I would look at, but I've been so cold recently. And I think we talked about this the other day. There's a point in the baseball season where like the books and everyone just starts catching up, and then everyone just goes into the tank. And that's what this last week has been for me too. Bad week. So I like the under here, but that's probably a good sign for over bettors, honestly.
So yeah, and I'm a high volume bettor, and April and May in MLB, I had a bunch of 7-3, 8-2, yeah, even a couple of 9-1s that I had in terms of my card for the day. And now for me, the last like couple of weeks, if I get like 6-5 or 7-6, I'm kind of happy, because hey, it's profit. And we scratch out a little bit of profit. If I scratch out a little bit of profit right now and go just a little bit above 500 with my daily MLB wagers, I'm happy right now because it is a grind right now, and it is not as easy to find that value as it was earlier in the season. There's no question about it. There's a reason I always tell people that are tailing my recommendations on this show or people that are subs of mine, April and May is when I do my best work in baseball, and the rest of the season, it's just trying to scratch out and churn out profit day by day and grind for it. And that's where we're at right now. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Next up, we've got the San Diego Padres and the Cincinnati Reds. Ryan Weathers, the lefty for San Diego, Luis Castillo for the Reds. The Padres open favorites here, and yet now Cincinnati is a slight home favorite in this game. Total 9.5 in this one. Obviously, there's some respect being paid to the turnaround by Castillo, who has been pitching a lot more like the ace that he was expected to be coming into the season. Remember, it was a rough start to the season for Luis Castillo, really rough. But it's been really good for him last 3. Absolutely outstanding numbers for him. He's given up 0, 3, and 0 runs in his last 20 innings. So he's given up a grand total of 20 innings. Facing this Padres team a second time. He was a tough luck loser in the first meeting against San Diego. 3-2 loss, but he pitched well enough to win in that game. You got Ryan Weathers on the mound for the San Diego Padres, the lefty. He's been okay. Started out well, but last 2 starts not as sharp. June 1st, June 7th, and he's been off since June 7th away. A stint on the injured list. So first start back for Ryan Weathers. That's normally more of a bet against for me with a pitcher off the injured list more than I'm ready to back them and trust them to pitch well. So I'm a little bit leery of Ryan Weathers here in this spot. Not to mention the Reds who have dropped the first 2 games of this series, but they've still managed to score runs. I think they can do some damage here in this one. I would probably agree with this move towards Cincinnati. It's a good spot, trying to avoid a sweep at the hands of San Diego. They've got a guy that's in sizzling form right now, Luis Castillo. So the money has shifted here. It was San Diego opened as a favorite. Now it's Cincinnati favored. I think I agree with that. I would look toward the Reds here. First 5 full game split. What do you think here, Jose, with the Padres and the Reds?
Yeah, I like the Reds here too. We were talking about Luis Castillo forever, and thank God he's turned it around. Because if he didn't, then he would be a Yankee already. So glad to see that the changeup's working for him finally. I think you could go 2 ways here. You could take the Reds and then regret not taking them earlier, or you can take the team total. I like the team total over 4.5, -112 on Pinnacle right now. It makes a lot of sense to me. This is a good offense. Ryan Weathers looks like your high school bully. I've been pretty off on Ryan Weathers. I remember on this show or someone's show recently or earlier this year, they called him the future of the Padres, and I threw up in my mouth a little bit. He's a good lefty. He's all right. He's a good innings eater, but he won't be a starter going into the playoffs. He's going to be a bullpen piece. That's ultimately what his destiny seems like. So I like the Reds to touch up Ryan Weathers, and like you said, even better. He's coming off first game off the injured list. Young pitcher. We'll see how it goes, but I like that as well for over 4.5 Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, Padres are admittedly playing really good baseball the last week to 2 weeks, but still, I definitely am not quite ready to trust them here in this spot. The Padres today against Castillo, who again has pitched up pretty decently here the last few outings that he's had. All right, next game on the slate: Mets and Braves. Jake DeGrom, Ian Anderson. The Mets minus. It looks like one. Let me see here. Yeah, -160, -170 here. The price in this game against the Braves. A total 7 across the board here. I'll be honest. For Jacob DeGrom moneyline price standards, this is actually a little bit of a bargain in my mind. I mean, you actually see him usually priced a little bit higher than this. So definitely it's in the range where a Mets first 5 -0.5 run makes some sense. I think it makes a lot of sense here. Mets first 5 -0.5 run. They are completely and utterly, or they should feel that way anyway. They should feel completely and utterly embarrassed, losing 20-2 last night to the Atlanta Braves. They've got their beast of a pitcher on the mound in Jacob DeGrom. Bounce back time. Show some pride after what happened last night against this Atlanta team. Ian Anderson still continuing to pitch for the most part relatively well, 3.42 ERA. He's on the spin rate list, but it hasn't necessarily shown up yet for Ian Anderson in terms of it impacting his results. To me, this is first 5 Mets. They got absolutely just taken apart, taken to the woodshed and beaten down by the Braves last night. And now they've got their guy on the mound. They come out strong today. Mets first 5 -0.5 run for me. And, to be honest with you, at a pretty good price as well. Jose, what do you think here? Mets and Braves.
That is the funniest thing I read all day. Thank you, Stella, for putting that in the chat. I'll put it up once more time. DeGrom, only qualified pitcher with a first 5 ERA of 0 on the road. That is hilarious. He is not a human. He is crazy. And Ian, when I looked at this first 5 price, I shocked, slack-jawed. That's the play. That is my favorite play of the day so far, right there. First 5 minus, I have it -113 for a Jacob DeGrom, who I think we can agree that the Mets manager looked at Jacob DeGrom and was like, "Hey, our bullpen got worn out last night. We need you to go today. We need you to take these innings. And you need to do your thing today because we need to give them a break." So I like that a lot. So I'm all over that with you there. Oh,
all right, there we go.
Too, by the way.
You like the under as well?
Too.
Under first 5?
Yeah. This is the only other under because Ian Anderson is also a good pitcher. I mean, worst case scenario, I think honestly, is that we get a 0-0. So bet the under as well, just a little insurance.
I sure as hell hope it's not 0-0 after first 5 innings because that's no good for me with Mets -0.5 run -120. But give me 1-0 Mets or 2-1 Mets or 2-0 Mets. We'll be happy with that. So for me that's incredible. Like it's still it's gone up a little, but it's still -120 for the New York Mets, -0.5 run in the first 5 innings with Jacob DeGrom on the mound, who's got a 0.00 ERA. In the first 5 innings this season. Yeah, I think we'll take our chances with that. That's a great price considering.
Yeah,
and they got beaten up last night. You got to think they're going to be just chomping at the bit. bounce back
Yeah,
time
and
tonight.
two more things real fast, Ian.
Yep.
Uncool 22, the Freddie Freeman home run prop is nice. Freddie Freeman at Jacob deGrom. He has 3 home runs off of Jacob deGrom. That is the most of anyone off of any pitcher today today. That was very surprising. And Lou Dinny talks about Kevin Long and Schwarber's hitting stance change. I'll tell you another thing that helps. The sticky stuff being gone really, really helps pitchers, in particular with their fastballs too. So you can get the spin up, and high fastballs were like, I guess, I don't know, they're popular. That's what pitchers were doing. High fastballs with their spin rates, hitters weren't touching, especially with their high spin, because it looks like it's rising and going up and up and up. Without the sticky stuff, spin's going down, and now those high fastballs aren't going up. And Kyle Schwarber is a high fastball guy, and that is absolutely letting him eat. So that is another big contributing factor to it too.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman homer. Yeah, Freddie Freeman's the one guy that has done big damage against deGrom. There's no question. 3 home runs against him in the past. You could look that way for a home run prop. deGrom will give up the odd home run. Not a lot, not as many as some, but he will do that sometimes. So if you want to look in that direction, I wouldn't hate that by any stretch of the imagination. Next up, St. Louis and Colorado. We've got Adam Wainwright, Antonio Senzatella, the pitching matchup here. Chance of rain at Coors Field tonight, but not much, not as much as the 2 games in Philly and Washington tonight. So I think they'll get this game in. We've got the Cardinals here right now, currently about a -120, -125, -130 in some spots. Road favorite. The total right now in this game currently at around 11, pretty much across the board here with this total. Adam Wainwright, we know what he's like at home. Very, very good. In fact, last 3 starts, he's been really good. 1.89 ERA overall. But now you're on the road, and Adam Wainwright, 6.31 ERA away from Busch Stadium this year. So he has struggled. However, his last road start was terrific against Atlanta. 1 run in 7 innings, 11 strikeouts, pitched well in his last outing against Pittsburgh, but different animal pitching here at Coors Field. When you look at the past results for Wainwright in Coors Field, a guy that's actually not pitched terribly here when you go back in time. 3 runs a long time ago in this ballpark, 2009, 3 runs in 2013 in this ballpark, 4 runs, 7 hits, 5.1 innings a few years ago in this park. And then, of course, 2017, he shut out the Rockies in 7 innings here at Coors Field. Earlier this season, he faced the Rockies and he shut them out in 8.1 innings, almost had a complete game. So there are some things that concern me here. Wainwright's pitched well against the Rockies. He's pitched well for the most part in this ballpark, but I'm still going to be on Colorado here in this game. I like this team as a home underdog, getting this price. They've played outstanding baseball at home. Senzatella's got a good 3.91 ERA this season in this ballpark. He's been pretty good overall here at home. We'll see if he can keep it going in this game. His last 10 starts, he's actually pitched pretty well his last start. 3 runs, 5 innings against the Milwaukee Brewers in that game. All the damage came after he left the game in that one. I think he can go out there, pitch decently. He had a good start against the Cardinals last time he faced them here at Coors Field a couple years ago. 1 run, 6 innings, and the Rockies were able to win that game here. Again, we're talking about a Colorado team that at home, they love this ballpark. They love them some Coors Field. I mean, you have a 6-31 road team, and you contrast that to a 28-16 home record for the Colorado Rockies going into this game. So I like Colorado here, and we'll split it up with the first 5 and the full game as a small home underdog. What do you think here, Jose, with St. Louis, Colorado?
Yeah, I like Colorado here too, but the issue is that Matt Randall's team play of the day is Cardinals money line. So that's the thing that's keeping me off, really. Matt Randall's a great capper. We all know him. Pete Loshak put this on my board that the Rockies, of course, at home are a good squad. So if you take Rockies -1.5 on their home games, your ROI is going to be sky high at the end of the year. I mean, they smacked around the Pirates each of those 3 games. You bet them each time, you probably get plus money odds each time. It's great. So I'm on that as well. Or I'm on that. I'm on Rockies -1.5. Let me double check the odds while I'm speaking here. But I think that the Rockies could get to Wainwright. It's been a while since he's pitched in Coors, so we'll see how it goes. And he's an older pitcher, so at the end of the day, we'll see how he does. And another thing, a Jack of the Day candidate here is Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado coming back home to Coors for the first time. The chat's been talking about it. I think that he could go yard first at bat. That's just like how these storybook things always go. The fans will be cheering him on because obviously the fans wanted him to stay. They traded him. And by the way, Colorado -1.5 is at +196 on Pinnacle. You probably get around 200 somewhere else. So yeah, I'm on the Rockies -1.5 and Nolan Arenado to hit a home run. You're muted over there, Ian.
Yeah, this is just a value play for me, Colorado. That's why I'm on it. Hey, I respect the hell out of Matt. Matt's done a great job with baseball, but this is just value. I mean, you got a great home team here. And look, I think Wainwright does have good numbers against the Rockies, but that was in St. Louis. That's his haven, pitching in St. Louis. Now you got to do it on the road. And they've just crushed the baseball at home compared to what let's keep in mind too. Wainwright loves Busch Stadium. He loves the Busch, as I like to say. He faced the Rockies earlier this year. They don't hit a lick on the road half the time. And he shut him down in that game. Now you got to go into Coors to do it. And they mashed the ball at home. And they got in 12 games above 500 at home, this Colorado team. So I think it's a completely different handicap here for Wainwright. Let's see him do it tonight, and I'll be impressed. So I like Colorado here. First 5 full game split. Next up, we've got San Francisco and Arizona. Final game on this Thursday slate. Johnny Cueto, Merrill Kelly, your pitching matchup in this one. We've got San Francisco -140, road favorites, 9 the total in this one. I'm tempted by the D-backs here. I don't know why. I shouldn't be. This team's toxic at this point in time, but I'm tempted by them a little bit here. At least at home, they have a puncher's chance to win some games. They're not great at home, 12-24, but at least they win more games at home than they do on the road, where they never win, seemingly these days. And Merrill Kelly's turning it around. He's had 2 really good starts in a row for the Diamondbacks, and I do think he can be capable of being a good pitcher. You've got the Giants getting swept, though, by the Dodgers. Cueto, to me, is still someone I can't get behind. Cueto, I can't, especially on the road. The road's been a little bit rocky road, if you will, for Johnny Cueto. He hasn't pitched great away from Oracle Park in the Bay Area this season. He's got an ERA almost at 5 on the road this season. That does concern me going into this start. I think there's a little value Arizona, but obviously first 5 would be the preferred method here if you like the Diamondbacks, and spare yourself the horror of that hideous bullpen behind them. So, I would lean a little to the Arizona side for this. You know what I might do? I might do Arizona first 5 and then San Francisco full game, or either full game before the game or in game at some point. That might be what I would do here going into this start, because I think I trust Kelly more than I trust Cueto. That's just the way it is. And look, the Giants lineup got shut down by the Dodgers the last 2 games as well. So it's not like the Giants lineup is in the best form coming into this game tonight. So again, Kelly's had 2 really good starts in the row. He's historically pitched better at Chase Field here in Arizona than he has on the road in his career. And similarly, Cueto has been roughed up more on the road than at home. So I do like Arizona a little bit first 5, and then I might look at a Giants in game because they definitely have a bullpen edge, and maybe a lean to the over as well. I know Brian Watson in the chat liking the over. I would probably lean in that direction as well with the Giants and the Diamondbacks. I know the Giants didn't hit against the Dodgers, but you got to think that they can hit here. Maybe not so much against Kelly, but certainly they can hit against that horrific bullpen after Kelly leaves the game. What do you think here, Jose, with the Giants and the Diamondbacks?
I've got nothing on this game. I think you said it all. Maybe a lean to the Giants, but I'm off. I would like to use this time, however. Ian, there is 7 minutes left in All-Star voting. Ian, 7 minutes. And I have made my All-Star vote. I don't know if you're busy here, Ian, but I would like to tell you my All-Star picks.
All right, go ahead. Let's hear it.
This is I see when I come on the show, Ian, I like derailing the show and talking about other baseball things, and I think it's very funny. But I've got for my American League team in chat. Please tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong. I've got Vladdy, Marcus Semien, Rafael Devers, Xander Bogaerts is my infield, Salvador Perez is my catcher, Michael Brantley. The outfield pack for the AL was tough, by the way. I've got Michael Brantley, Adolis Garcia from the Rangers. He's got 20 home runs. You probably don't know about him. And Cedric Mullins. And then my DH, of course, is the legend Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, yeah, Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, exactly. He's a must. Even after last night where he pissed me off with a terrible first inning, he had no command, no control. His mechanics were all fucked up. That really pissed me off that he was off his game last night. But that's okay because I also had that Angels. I split it up, first 5 in full game, and Aroldis Chapman got it all back.
What a beauty. What a beautiful man. I bet, Ian, Angels minus 1.5 when it was tied 8-8. And I got it up like plus 230 something, and it was very funny. But shout out to Aroldis Chapman. He's not going to be on my All-Star ballot, unfortunately, but it doesn't matter. You don't vote for relievers. Quickly, my National League. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Tell us your National League.
My National League is Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Nolan Arenado, Tatis, Buster Posey. Buster Posey coming back with a catcher's appearance. Ronald Acuna Jr., Nick Castellanos, and Jesse Winker starting as teammates in the outfield as well.
All right. I like it. That's some good picks there. There we go. Then 4 minutes. You're right. I see it. The Blue Jays game that I'm watching right now, they've got it up on the screen there.
That's why that's why I looked at it. I was like, oh, no. I got to submit.
Yep. Yeah, they're trying to push it. Buck Martinez on the Blue Jays broadcast today. You got to vote for your favorite Blue Jays. You got to vote 4 minutes left. That's my Buck Martinez voice right there. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So the Blue Jays here this season, you got Randall Grichuk at the plate. He's swinging a red hot bat.
Randall Grichuk, all-star finalist for the outfield, surprisingly enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you get a lot of different directions you could go for these Blue Jays position players this year. Bichette and freaking Semien and Vlad and Grichuk, they've all played extremely well this season. And you know what's funny? Biggio sucked early in the year. They sent him down. He's back up now, and he's starting to hit. So look out. He's getting his form back again. That could be trouble moving forward. So, I like a lot of those picks. And I will say this about Chapman and the Yankees. That was as pathetic as it gets that they lost that game last night. And they were up 7-2 at one point. So hilarious, though, for everybody that had to either bet the Angels or just hates the Yankees to see them lose 11-8 last night. And by the way, with Chapman, what is your body made of? Is there like an internal furnace in your stomach?
I knew you were going to say that
much, man. What makes you sweat? You're drenched, man. You're sitting in the dugout 5 minutes after you get pulled last night, and there's just this sweat just dripping and pouring off him, and he's just sitting still in the dugout for 5 minutes. How does one human being sweat that much on the mound? Fuck David Wells, who was as overweight as it gets in his heyday. He didn't sweat half as much as this guy does, perspire half as much as this guy does on the mound. Holy shit, I couldn't believe it.
On top of that, Ian, I'm pretty sure he wears long sleeves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so classic.
This guy is just,
by the way,
soaked. His face is soaked every time he's out there on the mound. Yeah.
The hat, when he's dripping off the hat, awful. By the way, Brian Watson, you're right about Trey Turner for the National League. I should have voted Trey Turner for the starter. It's just Fernando Tatis is the name. So you are very right. That was my mistake. I know Trey Turner has all of his stats are higher than Tatis's. So, but you're right.
Yeah.
To me, another thing. I'm sorry. One more thing. It's 1-0 in the Red Sox game. Top of the fourth, I think now. Live over Bet City is coming, Ian. Right now it's at 7.5.
Yeah, I hope there's some runs soon because I got a little over 10, and we need something. That first inning they had a chance to really crack Bubic early, and they hit into a double play. That didn't make me too happy, but nevertheless, it is what it is. There's still lots of game left in that one. But hilarious to see another Yankee melt, as if this Yankee season couldn't get more upsetting, erratic, disappointing. And then that's basically the icing on the shit cake last night, seeing that final score 11-8 after having a 7-2 lead last night.
Very
incredible.
Hilarious.
Very, very funny indeed. Hilarious, in fact. Yes. All right. We will get to best bets. We'll get to Jack of the Day to wrap up the show in just a second. But first, messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101. You're in San Antonio, Texas. Make sure you check them out. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, and karaoke as well. Southtown 101 in San Antonio. We've got Manscaped promo code Pub Sports, the all-new and improved Lawnmower 4.0, and you can get 20% off the Lawnmower 4.0 or any product from Manscaped by using the promo code Pub Sports. And MyBookie.ag, promo code Pub Sports, NHL, NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball still ongoing daily. We've got football a month away from the first NFL preseason game. That Hall of Fame game is literally just over a month away. So football's right around the corner. No better time to sign up for MyBookie.ag than right now. You can use Bitcoin as your accepted currency for your deposit. MyBookie.ag, promo code Pub Sports. All right, it is that time of the show. Time for Jack of the Day.
We'll see you later.
Favorite part of the show right there.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to love that. It's one of the best intros on YouTube right there for the Jack of the Day. Candidates for Jack of the Day. I'm going to keep it simple. You know what? This is not, to me, a day where a lot of home run props stuck out to me. It's just one of those days, you know, in terms of home run props. But Kyle Schwarber, keep it very, very simple. He's going to face Tony Gonsolin and a lot of now, assuming this game gets played, that's the only question. But still, Kyle Schwarber for sure. Very much interested in him. Home run prop. You definitely could look at a couple of Rockies against Wainwright, Blackman in particular. I like the way he's swinging the bat lately. You could look at Charlie Blackman for a home run prop for Colorado tonight. But just not a great night overall for some of these home run props. You could look at a couple of Astros against Mejia. Mejia's given up some long balls, so maybe you look at a Correa or an Altuve there. So those would be what I'd look at here for Jack of the Day. Jose, if you have any Jack of the Day candidates, you can mention them. If not, tell us what your best bet is.
I've got one at least. I've got Nolan Arenado, Jack of the Day, for returning to Colorado. Storybook kind of stuff happens all the time, so I like him today. And I like Adam Duvall. Duval County is coming to Philadelphia. Hits a home run off of Zach Eflin today, so I will be excited for that. Best bet. Now, Ian, I've realized this, and now I'm starting to feel like this. Whenever I want to do best bets, I always feel like I need my baseball glove with me. So when you're giving your best bet, I'm going to grab my baseball glove here in a second. So can't wait for that. But it's tough day, really tough. You made me a little nervous, Ian, with this midsummer swoon that the bookies have got us. I think I know what your best bet is, and I'm going to pray that this is not it. I'm taking the Mets. I'm taking the Mets first five. It has to be the Mets first five.
That isn't it, actually, but I like it.
Okay, thank you. That's good. But it has to be the Mets first five. You got Jacob deGrom. You just need one run from the Mets. And Ian Anderson, great pitcher. I love everything about Ian Anderson, but he can get touched up. So I need one run from you, Mets. One run. And I think Jacob deGrom can hold this good Braves lineup. So give me the Mets first five -0.5.
Mets first 5 innings -0.5 a run -120, and that is one hell of a price, win or lose, with Jacob deGrom on the mound. That's all I have to say. So, yeah, it is one of my bets. It is not my best bet, but I do like it, and that is Jose's best bet. Mets minus a half a run, minus 120, first 5 innings. Mine is going to be, let's go to a little home underdog action. Let's go with the Washington Nationals tonight against the LA Dodgers. Like the spot, Dodgers off a big sweep against San Fran, now going on the road, facing a hot Nationals team. This game, though, might not. You know what? I'm going to back it up with another best bet, and I'm going to go Colorado with the other best bet, plus 110, just in case that Washington game doesn't get played, because I keep having to remind myself we've got big chance of rain there, so I don't want that possibility to get and play with the best bet, so or affect the best bet. So, and I'm going to go with the Rockies as well as a home underdog here, plus 110, plus 115 against St. Louis, just in case Washington is the Washington LA Dodgers game is postponed. So Washington, and that'll be the backup best bet, if you will. Colorado at a small home underdog price against the Cardinals. And look, Wainwright's pitched decently in the past against the Rockies and in that ballpark, but this season on the road in that ballpark, I'm not so sure. And look, the Cardinals to me aren't consistent enough to trust, and they're road favorites in this game. Like as road chalk, I'm not so sure I can trust that with this erratic St. Louis bunch. And look, what are we going to do? We're going to give them all kinds of credit for pummeling a pathetic Arizona team the last 3 days. I'm not. So I like Colorado here, home underdog in this one. So 2 best bets. If Washington gets postponed, that's my number 1 best bet. Number 2 best bet is Colorado in case that Washington game does not get played tonight. So there we go. That is the MLB Closing Time show right here on Pub Sports Radio. Thanks to our special guest, Jose Bouquett, especially for joining us today with Conor Mac, MIA, but he'll be back on the NBA show later today.
Yes, and Ian, I have to ask you a question. I like asking you questions at the end of this show. I'm sorry if you have to go to the ice guys right now. I apologize.
No, that's all right. No.
Good. Okay, so my question, Ian, what sports did you grow up playing? Because obviously I grew up playing baseball. My glove would be thrown out of the stands because it's discolored now. And unfortunately, I only have 1 baseball, and it's signed. So, but yes. So, Ian, what sports did you play growing up?
It's not an impressive list, but T-ball, a little briefly, ever so briefly, basketball. I never played hockey for as much as I like, because I can't skate with a lick. That's why.
That's very disappointing.
Bowling. I was still in a bowling league, an adult bowling league, until a couple of years ago, and then the sports betting thing I got too busy with it, and I couldn't do it anymore. But I still enjoy. I'm good at bowling, actually, believe it or not. 5 and 10 pin, and what's the other? A little golf, but just embarrassingly bad. It's just for fun and enjoyment. Yeah.
Okay.
Terrible.
Okay. Yeah. I'll give you a guess, Ian. Here's another game I'll play with you, Ian. Who do you think this baseball is signed by? It is one of my favorite people, and on top of that, he gave me $100. He is an all-star. He was in my all-star game ballot.
Oh boy!
He's also from Venezuela.
Oh shit!
He is playing in the games that are currently playing right now.
The games that are currently playing right now. Oh man!
You are. He is not on the field currently. He just got off the field, but you watched him. Yes, and he hit a home run last night.
For your Red Sox?
No. He's a Royal. Ron Crawford getting it right. Salvador Perez.
Oh, so you're right. That's Sal Perez. There you go. All right, nice. Very good. He's a big man, that's Sal Perez, yeah.
Yes, he is. A very large human being. And he gave me $100. So that's really why I like him. So shout out to him.
All right. Very good. Well, hopefully he's got a home run or 2 in his arsenal, or someone it does on this Royals team, and Boston. We're stuck on 1-0 there, 5-1 Seattle. But there you go. That is the show. We will get to NBA Pub Hub later today, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Me, Conor Mac, Dutch Boy Fresh, and Ski Profit. Reminder, too, there will be no NBA Pub Hub tomorrow. There will be no NBA Pub Hub on Sunday because the Phoenix Clippers series is over. So there will be no games Friday. There'll be no games Sunday. So we'll be on today, and we'll be on Saturday. With the NBA Pub Hub. We won't have a show tomorrow. We will not have one Sunday. So a couple days.
What are you going to
off.
do with yourself? What are you going to do with
Well,
yourself?
it's good
Ian?
actually because I have an appointment tomorrow, so it's perfect timing that there's no NBA. Because I might have actually had to miss yet tomorrow's show had there been a Game 7.
So
With
you were
the
praying
Suns
for
and
the
Clippers.
Suns.
I was well,
hoping
more.
the Suns.
That's the lowest reason on the totem pole why I was cheering for the Suns last night. A certain thing called futures to win the NBA title on Phoenix was the most important thing. But yeah, not having to do the show in terms of tomorrow. It's definitely nice. Yeah, CFL's on, Ron Crawford. There will be CFL football this season starting next month. So looking forward to the Canadian Football League.
I'm sorry I have all these random questions for you, Ian. I saw your Hamilton. Is that your CFL team?
They are Hamilton Tiger Cats. Yeah, season ticket holder as well.
Is that the team that signed Johnny Manziel?
That's the team. Yep. We
All
got
right.
all the
That's my
headlines,
favorite team.
all the media flocked up here from the United States for his training camp that year. I remember, and now we've not seen a single media member from south of the border since then. Yeah. They all came to cover Johnny. Yeah, exactly. Which didn't end well. Now he's not even playing football. He's hawking low rate insurance right now, from what I've seen.
Ian, he's joined us now. Ian. He's one of us. He's a sports gambler now. Gives out picks.
Well, it's not surprising because he was down at the Costa Rica and the convention that I was at a few years ago. They brought him in as a guest. So there you go. Not a surprise at all. So yeah, I could tell he had some interest in it back then. And now he's going full bore on it. But nevertheless, we wish him all the best. Good stuff.
One of my goals.
Yeah.
I'd love to get him on the show.
Yeah, I'll keep on working at it. Yeah, that's what we got to find these former athletes and former players that are into betting. That's what I'm doing with the Ice Guys. I've got some former hockey players that, they didn't always play at the NHL level, at the lower levels, but they're into betting and they know the sport and they played the sport. So,
Ian, I'd love to be a guest on Ice Guys, and I just want you guys to explain. There's certain things about hockey that I just don't understand.
Well, one day we'll make that happen. Definitely. Maybe next season we'll bring you on for a special guest spot.
Yeah, some off-season filler episodes.
Absolutely. All right, we're out. Good stuff. Thanks to Jose Bouquett. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you in a couple hours for the NBA Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio.